Hello, people who are not me, and welcome back to Megaman 5. I am Sire Goku. We're here at Stage 2 of Proto Man's Castle, and we have to deal with avoiding these enemies. Pretty easy enough. Up here would be where we get another Mega Tank, if we didn't already have one. As with all the other fortress stages in Mega Man, your weapon energy does not refill between stages. So be careful about that. I think that's why they put a Mega Tank there, because I guess they expected you to use all your weapons going through the first stage. It's pretty convenient, I will admit. Thankfully, I do not need it. I am a master at this game, even though I've died a couple of times in this playthrough already. Anyway, with Stage 2 of Darkman, or Proto Man, whatever, I think he's canonly called Darkman because, spoiler alert, it's not frickin' Proto Man that's evil. We've been through this in Mega Man 3. If he was evil, he would have been evil in that game permanently. Another extra life! Huzzah! Another one! Why? Why, game? I don't need him. I don't need it. Anyway, this part can be tricky. I should have done this from the start. This is the one instance where I think Star Crash is actually useful. Star Crash is actually Gravity Man's weakness. If you were paying attention to the order that I was going in, Gravity Man is weak to Starman. But I don't like using... I do not like using the Star Crash on Gravity Man because it's so difficult to time it. But that section right there is probably the one and only time I ever find a use for the Star Crash. Because there's just too many enemies floating above you, and the Star Crash, while it's not a very powerful shield weapon, it's useful enough that it's actually helpful at that point. So that'll probably be the only time. Well, no, there's one other time in the entire game where the Star Crash is actually useful, and I don't even know for sure if I'm going to do that in this run or not. Another E-Tank down there, which I kind of want. There we go. Just when you're sliding, as soon as you hear the sound that you picked up the item, just immediately hold right, and you will turn back, and you won't touch the spikes. And another extra life. Really, they really want you to have extra lives here. And I can't really complain because I've already lost a few times anyway, so... And then there's these enemies. They're very easy to take out, as long as you just time your shot. There we go. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, Super Arrow. That's another useful way to bring it up, to use the Super Arrow. I can make that jump no problem, but hey, any way I can show off being a little bit more fancy and also doing things that some other players normally would not show off, I will do it. One thing I do wish was in this game that they don't have until the next game, which is unfortunate because it could have really, really benefited this game as well as Mega Man 4, is the energy balancer. Now, what the energy balancer does, which I will talk about which we won't get until Mega Man 6, but the energy balancer automatically gives if you pick up weapon energy without having a special weapon equipped, it'll automatically go towards the weapon that has the least amount of weapon energy. So if I were to have had the energy balancer for this game, the Super Arrow would have been filled up a lot more than it is right now. But alas, we do not have that until the next game. Now we have this enemy here. Now this boss does not ever jump. And that should be your clue as to what his weakness is. Because since he does not jump, you can very easily just hit him with the Napalm Bomb. You can also use the Mega Buster, but the weird light bars that are surrounding him actually will deflect your Mega Buster shots if you don't time it right. But it cannot deflect the explosion from the Napalm Bomb. So even if the shield hits the Napalm Bomb, the explosion will still damage the boss. So that's why you should use the Napalm Bomb on that boss. There we go. Stage 2 done, and moving on to Stage 3, which is by far the hardest stage of the Proto Man Castle stages. Excuse me. And we have these Copter Joes again, which can be an extreme pain in the ass if you're not good at timing your shots like certain people, like me. Again, if you do have difficulty aiming at them, just use the gyro attack. It takes them out no problem. Or you can just use charge shots like I did right there. I apologize if I go silent. If I go silent, it's usually just because I'm concentrating and I don't want to screw up as much as I don't want to screw up any more than I've already done. So, extra life again. Thank you, game, but I really don't need it anymore. Even if I do get a death, I really severely doubt I'm gonna die 9 times. Anyway, we got these floating platforms. Now this is a little bit trickier because this time they actually put spikes on the wall, so if you screw up, you gotta be really careful about your jump because you can just be thrown right into the spikes and die. Or you could just use Rush Coil. That works too. Oh wait, no, Rush Coil is just barely too short. So yes, you do have to use these things. Well, I guess you could also jump off the wall using the super arrow if you want to risk that, but really it's not that bad. More extra lives. I was only expecting to get that many if I were to show off how the Mega Tank works when you have full weapon and life energy. Not every freaking other enemy. Again, these cannon mets, you can farm off of their shots if you really want. I would recommend against that, especially when you're in an area like this, where one slip-up can basically just knock you into a pit. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But we are at the last stretch of Proto Man Stage 3. It's a little bit long. Not nearly as long as Stone Man's stage, but it's still a relatively lengthy stage. And for it being a fortress stage, I expect it to be long. Now, here's where you can tell exactly when this game came out. Gee, I wonder what this is parodying or referencing. This is very clearly a reference to oh, and I think I just killed myself. Nope, I got it. Anyway, that platform right there is a very obvious reference to Super Mario World. Yeah, I did kill myself. I had no chance there. Anyway. Again, that normally does not happen, but oh well. Thankfully, the checkpoint is right here. As I was saying before, this is a very obvious homage to Super Mario World right here. And okay, you know what? Screw that E-Tank. I don't need it. I was honestly trying to get the E-Tank there. That was my own darn fault. Oh well. If you want to see me have fails, there you go. Third time! Homage to Mario World because this moving platform is clearly based on the moving platforms from Super Mario World. And that's also how you can tell when this game came out. So why was Mega Man 5 on the NES when it could have easily been on the Super NES? I don't know. Based on what I've been told, it's because Capcom thought that it was easier at the time to make NES games than anything else. And I can understand why. I mean, at the time, the Super Nintendo was very, very new. And people were not sure how it worked. So why move on to a system and risk destroying a franchise when you can just work with something you know how to deal with? But this shows that you could kind of do similar things from the Super Nintendo on the NES, sort of? I don't know. I kind of need to grind for life here. Not really, but I'd like to. I'm not going to, though, because that'll be wasting time. Already wasting enough time as it is trying to do this stage. And now we're back at this one again, and now we have falling enemies. Mega Man 5 likes to bring these enemies into sections where you're going to be doing a lot of jumping. Also, be very careful, because if you're on that platform when it's dropping down like that, it's really hard, if nay impossible, to jump again. Now here is the perfect opportunity to show off Beat. With this final enemy here, you can just kind of stand here and let Beat, kick the crap out of him. If he hits you with those white rings, it freezes you, but it doesn't stop Beat from attacking him. So you just use Beat, and he just keeps pecking at him until he dies. And now we got one last stage, and it's very short, so I'm going to keep it in this part. So even if this part's going on a little long, this is a short stage. Shoot out these blocks here, and it drops the ceiling. Make sure, though, that you don't drop it too far, otherwise the spikes are going to come down on you, and you're going to die. There you go, and you just do that, and then slide under, and boom. Now you don't ever have to worry about it. There we go. And we're at the end of the stage already. Hey, Proto Man, I think you need to get your whistle retuned and stuff. And hey, what the... Ow. Yeah, that's better. Oh, wait. Oh, so there's two Proto Men. And one didn't have a scarf, too. No, this is Dark Man. And Dark Man... pretty much a hybrid of the first and second bosses from this stage, from this castle that you fought before. Thankfully, he does not have the freeze ring that the last guy that we just fought had, but he does have the barrier and the power of the tank boss that we fought earlier. Basically, he's going to stand there with his shield, which will deflect your shots. He's going to shoot 3 shots, launch his shield at you, and then jump at where you were last standing. He's extremely easy. You could save Beat for him as well, but he's easy. You've done well, Mega Man. I've never expected you to defeat my powerful Dark Man robot. Oh, jeez. Until now, I have managed to frame Proto Man for my crimes, but now the real Proto Man has appeared and spoiled my plan. Dr. Light is a captive in my lab. Come if you dare! Ha ha ha! Oh, great, Wily's back again. Who saw this coming? Oh, boy. Well, Wily's back. So in the next video, we're going to go on to Wily's castle and take him out for the 5th time. Thank you guys for watching. I am Sire Goku, and I will see you in the next video.